How is everybody doing today? I gotta say happy Mother's Day. Tomorrow I'm doing it early for my wife, my mom, all the women out there who are mothers, auntie, sisters, cousins, all of y'all who are mothers out there that provide that undeniable love for your kids. Happy Mother's Day from Mike and CTM TV. Happy Mother's Day. So today I want to talk about this that season is May. Everybody's graduating, high school or college. Probably mostly for high school. And I do this because I really think that the things that I learned from when I was younger, if I could give somebody else that from my trials and tribulations, what I learned and what I didn't do and what I did do, pass that down to another young person and they can make a better, wise, informed decision. The whole reason why I'm making content is to talk about some situations that you think about that you normally don't talk about or it's not discussed or having a conversation about. So today I'm going to talk about things I should have done after I graduated. I'm going to share my experience, some of the things that I should have done that I didn't, either I neglected it or I just didn't do it. I'm not going to say I didn't know. I'm going to say that I either neglected it or I just didn't do it. So, first thing,
They told me bust out my AP, perfect timing.
first thing is development strategy. What am I going to do after I graduate? What educational route am I going to take? Sometimes you got to have a plan A and a plan B. I know some people say it shouldn't be like that. You should just have a plan A. But depending on your circumstances and your resources, sometimes you got to have multiple options when you graduate because you're 17, 18. You really don't have a whole bunch of resources unless you're from an affluent family, which I was not. And one of the things I used to want to do, I wanted to be a massage therapist. And I know this was back then, but I think the class was like $3,000. I thought that was a lot of money back then when I was 17, 18 years old. So I just neglected it and I didn't go to college, didn't even look into it. I never took the ACT or the SAT. And I did not make a development strategy, didn't even know what it was. Partly because I didn't take the time out to research it. That's why I always say go back and research. And another thing is I never really thought about it. I just thought I could get a job. Hence why I always say, please get some kind of post education. Don't just focus in on a job because when you get a job, what you're going to find out is most of the time jobs are only meant, in my opinion anyway, jobs are meant to hold you over until you get into the career part of the corporate world. Jobs are usually entry level, like, starting out on the ladder or whatever. So development strategy. Make sure that you make a development strategy. If you don't know, ask, research it, go to Google, look up development strategy. You can look it up. Time management is so important. What you do with your time. After you make a strategy, how do you develop your time? Most of the time when you graduate, most people get a full-time job and you working 8 hours probably. Either morning shift, midday shift, or the night shift. A lot of times when you're young, unless you have the skill level, you got the connections, you usually get that middle shift or night shift. So you got the 8 hours, either like 2 to 12, 12 to 7, or 12 to 8, something like that. And then you got that time before you go to work. What do you do at that time? What do you do on your off days? My time management wasn't the greatest. I think most thing I just worked. hung out, talked to girls. That's about it. I don't think I really put an onus on education till I got later, when I really started to realize I got to do something. These jobs ain't working. When I started to realize money, what resources mean, not just money, but having the resources to do different things. So time management is very important. Another one is research career fields. Understand there are so many career fields you can go into, but you got to do the research. You want to go in information technology? Do you want to go in accounting? Do you want to go into management? And you have to start out as a regular worker, counseling, teaching, vocational firefighter, police officer. And that's just a tip. There's so many other things out there that you can do. Man, it's a lot. You just have to go do the research and look, right? And then the last one, I should have put this up first, is spiritual development, because you can do this before you even graduate high school. Really get into that Bible, really learn about life principles and things that you can avoid if you understand, and avoid some of the things that can I'm gonna say hinder, and it can kind of cause what am I thinking? It can cause roadblocks. It can cause that uneasiness of doing things. But if you learn it early and digest it and really process it, it can save you from a lot of heartache and pain. Spiritual development. It can make you wise beyond your years. Make good decisions. A lot of times we are where we are. This is my opinion. We are where we are because of decisions and choices that we made. The things that I didn't do or the things that I did, right? Because I didn't go to school early, I'm going to school now, right? Because some of the things, the route that I took is why some of the stuff I deal with now. Dealing with my own self, dealing with Mike, because some of the choices that I made. So, moving along to the next one. Things I should have done after I graduated is develop my presentation. One of the things I noticed about myself, and that's my first one, why attire is important. Why is it important?
Always business, never personal.
One thing, when I was younger, I didn't really wear suits, hardly ever dress casual. But when you get into the corporate game, attire is very important because they have dress codes, business casual. But I only wore mostly t-shirts, jeans, not too many button-down shirts like I got on now. I didn't have too many of those. I didn't understand about attire till I probably got in my mid-20s, and I started seeing the difference in, when you in the corporate game, I started seeing the difference in the people that wear these things, people that wear these things, different tax brackets. Kind of like no different than the NBA. You play for the NBA team, they have jerseys and attire that they wear. Same way in the corporate game. It's kind of like that. Whatever team you're on, entry level, different kind of attire. Mid-level, different kind of attire. Management level, different kind of attire. And executive level, it's a different kind of uniform. It's just how it is. People try to say that it's not like that, but it is, depending on if you're working for a company. Even if you own your own business, you can wear what you want to wear, but you have to ask yourself, if I just always wear a t-shirt and jeans, could that affect my bottom line? Because we can talk, say it's not about the money, but if you're owning a business, it's about the bottom line. It's about making money, making a profit. So you do what you want to do. I'm just saying, there's something that I wish I'm passing down to a young person. You can get so far ahead, just our presentation can help you build networks like we got on here. Casual wear. You don't have to wear a suit. You can wear a button-down shirt and some khakis. You don't have to wear a suit if you ain't comfortable wearing a suit. But I can tell you, most of the time, the people that wear suits at most companies are making great money you wouldn't even imagine making. Like what they make probably is what you bring home on your income tax check. They make that probably every 2 weeks. I've seen this from my own 2 eyes. But you have to understand that attire is important. It's not something that you can just wear whatever you want to wear. Maybe if you own your own business, maybe, but when you work for a company, it's not the case. And sometimes coming to an interview, you can eliminate yourself just by what you have on. I've done it to myself. That's how I know that. I've done it to myself. Next one is building networks. When you build your presentation up, build those networks, meet people. You never know. A lot of things in life is not as random as you think. Sometimes it's about who you know. And one of the best things to do if you develop that strategy, you get that education or specialization in something, and you build a network, not only will the network help you, but you will be so prepared because you had everything in place. They don't have to do so much groundwork. All they got to do is just get you through the door, and you got everything else to take care of the rest.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
So another thing that I should have done after I graduated is get to a point of stability. This is the most important thing. After you develop a strategy, you have to get to that point of stability. What do I mean by stability? Being responsible, being able to pay your bills, being able to manage your lifestyle without having to borrow money or go to a check cashing place or overdraft in the bank. Being responsible. You want to get an apartment. You want to get a house. Are you responsible enough to maintain and live in the house or apartment, pay the rent, live on your own? You want to get a car. Are you responsible enough to maintain a car? Maintenance, coolant, oil change, just general things about a car that you have to maintain in order for it to run for a long time. Handling paperwork, bank stuff, right? Work at a job. You got to do direct deposit now. I don't even know if they even pay you. Jobs pay you in cash anymore. You at least got to cash a check, know how to cash a check at a bank, and they'll charge you for it if you don't have a bank account. But setting up bank account, direct deposit, taxes, revenue, personal property taxes, you got to do that every year. If you want to own a house, real estate taxes, escrow, you got to be on top of that every year. Mortgage, paperwork on that. Utility bills, lights, water, gas, that's every month. Insurance, if you own a car, that's every month. All these things you have to handle, all that little paperwork you have to remember. Did I assess? You got to do that too. Did I assess every year? My insurance through the job. Am I on top of that? What hospital do I go to? Where do I use it at? What's my copay? Dental. As an adult, it's so many things that you have to handle and keep up with paperwork wise, your taxes every year. Sometimes you got to keep it back to a certain year. Excuse me. Man, doing homework is a must. I've been doing homework all day, y'all. And maintaining health is very important. Maintaining your health is very important. And it starts when you become an adult. All the things you complain about, all the things that you griped about, when you become an adult, you're going to be able to show and tell how good you are in maintaining your individual self until you take on a family. You're going to be able to show that. Are you solid? Are you responsible? Do you have some sense? All those things are going to show. I can't stress it enough. Mental stability. Are you maintaining your mental stability? That's a big thing right now, mental health. I would say there are most people that grew up in the inner city, let's say 60%, right? 60% probably have some form or dealt with mental issues as far as not having enough, as far as the condition of what you see every day, the despair. You live in certain neighborhoods, it's just so much despair. Like, what do you even have to look forward to? Growing up in a contentious situation will mess with your mind. Seeing family members go through things that you really don't want to see family members go through, that'll mess up your mind. However, spiritual development is so important. It helps maintain your mental stability. Maintaining health, what you eat, how you eat it, how you prepare it will make a difference. Lifestyle, drinking will affect your health over time. Smoking will affect your health over time. I mean, your body is not made to inhale smoke. It's not made to consume alcohol long periods of time. It's not made for that. And if you keep doing it, like I say, it can mess with your liver, can mess with your kidneys, can mess with your blood pressure. And it could cost you your life. You drink too much, poison, it costs you life. So when you graduate, become an adult, you're not under or somebody's not holding your hand. You are left to your own choices and decisions. And you have to make good choices and decisions, or it could cost you your health, your mental stability, or it could cost you your life. You got to be careful with that. Not trying to scare you. I'm trying to tell you, if you're smart and make good decisions, develop yourself in a spiritual way, you will make good decisions and you won't have to be so worried about these things. But these are things that I should have done after I graduated.
Always business. Never personal.
So, understanding individual accountability. Can't stress it enough. You are accountable for what you do as an adult. If you understand this before you start taking on stuff, it will help you realize maybe I don't need to do that. Maybe I don't need to get in that car. Maybe I don't need to talk to this person. Maybe I don't need to do this thing. So, understanding that individual accountability, things people get interested in. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying this is something people get interested in, and it can change the way you look at life, perspective, and it's all about mindset, perspective, and how you look at things. But it's totally up to you. The first thing, rich and poor plight. The rich and poor plight. A lot of people get caught up in the rich and poor. Because I'm poor, I do this. Or because that person's rich, they can do this. Why am I saying this for? I'm saying is when you graduate, you are an individual. You have a clean slate or a fresh path that you're about to make for yourself. And the choices that you make at that point, if you understand what I'm saying, and that's why I'm trying to say this so it can be understood, make a clip out of this. The path that you take is going to determine your plight, whether you're rich or poor. You may not be superstar rich, like, entertainment wise, but there are regular people in Little Rock that are making, they regular people rich. They making great money, but they took a journey. It's a journey. It's not quick. And the journey that you take is going to determine your plight, rich or poor. It's up to you. You got the time, you got the research, you have the youth. It's all on your side. Whatever you choose to do with it, just know your plight is going to be determined by that. But some people get caught up in it so much that it blinds them from seeing the bigger picture or warps their perspective. But I'm here to tell you that when you graduate, you have a chance to make your own path based on the things that you know. And if you don't know, you got a chance to research it and learn it while you're on the path. I cannot stress it enough. You cannot allow what happened in the past or what you could control when you graduate. That's behind you. What's in front of you is your future and where you want to be on the plight. But it's all on you. It's not on nobody else. If nobody can give you money to go to college, you got to figure that out. Are you going to work and pay for it and get financial aid? There's ways to do it, but you have to figure it out for yourself. Individual accountability. You have to figure it out for yourself. I cannot stress it enough. Some things you just got to figure it out for yourself. And when you take those steps to figure it out, you start going down that path of knowing how to figure things out and how to solve problems for yourself. Cannot stress that enough. The next one.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The next one, race relations. Some people get really interested. Some people get really caught up in it, and it blinds them from their perspective, mindset. Am I saying that race issues don't exist? Absolutely not. They do exist. But what I found out is, as an individual, myself, you have to not let it stop you from reaching your goal. If I can't go through that door, I'm going to go to another door. If I can't go to that door, I'm going to go to another door. I'm going to get to one of them doors. I don't have to use force. I don't have to do nothing illegal. I just have to be smart and understand that there may be some obstacles in front of me or hurdles, but I'm going to jump each hurdle. Nothing's going to stop me from getting to the part of my journey where I'm trying to get to. And that's what I'm trying to give you the insight to understand the mindset, because what you're going to find is, if you really take the journey, educate yourself, there are some people, other races, that will actually help you or roll with you, but you have to be able to think outside of your race. And for me, I found out that when you peel back race, you're an individual in your personality. That personality is something that is not tied to race. That's your individual, who you are, your personality. But what I'm saying, I'm not saying that there's no racial issues out there. That you won't run into racial situations. But what I am saying is, if you use emotional intelligence and logical sense, you can navigate and overcome race relation issues. So don't let it warp your perspective and mindset. Go where you're tolerated. Go where you appreciate it and not tolerate it. Sometimes, in order to get to the successful part of the path or the further in the marathon, sometimes you got to go through the race marathon and endure that in order to get to the other side of the track, other side of the race. It's just how it goes sometimes. I'm not saying that it's easy to do, but if you can find a way to navigate that and overcome that and develop a tough skin, you will find yourself on the other side getting closer to success. But sometimes you got to go through and endure. So the next one is, this get a lot of people right here at Blind. I'm gonna raise my hand on this. Male and female games. See it all the time on social media now, but when I was younger, social media wasn't as prevalent like that. When I'm giving away my age, but when I was younger, it was the flip phones. The iPhone didn't come out till the late 2000s, I think, when you can be on social media, but social media really wasn't refined as much like that. But now it's a wild, wild west. It's crazy, but the male and female games, right? Dudes selling girls' dreams, girls selling dudes' dreams. Out here playing Pop Goes the Weasel. Then the weasel go pop. Now you then played it too many times. Multiple kids by multiple women, or women have multiple kids by multiple men. And a lot of people, you play this game, this male and female game, and you take a lot of losses in the process. And it hurts. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Some of the losses I had to take, it hurts. And some losses I hedged myself from, I didn't take, and some you do. Somebody's gonna hurt your feelings, and you're gonna hurt somebody else's feelings when you play male-female games. It's almost inevitable. It's impossible not to do. When you play that game, that male-female game, the dating game, you're gonna learn at another person's expense. Somebody's gonna learn at your expense. Some people take it and grow from it. Some people just don't. They don't even look at it that way at all. They just look at it like they just did what they did, and you guys got to deal with it. But just understand that the male and female game is not fair. There are no rules. I should just make a whole podcast about this. Matter of fact, let me know in the comments you want me to make a podcast about this. There are no rules in the male and female game. People think they do. They try to bring their rules and what they think and how they think it should go. There are no rules. You are blessed if you can find somebody that y'all share common values when you're playing the male and female game. You are blessed if you can find somebody that share the same value. If y'all can just be like 6 out of 10, you blessed. But just know, if you play the male and female game, know the risk. Know that you could take some losses. Know that your feelings are going to be hurt. You're going to hurt somebody's feelings. It's just how it goes. Some relationships are going to work, some are not. Some girls you may be compatible with, some you may not be. Same with women. You may meet some men you're compatible with, some you may not. You have to determine what you're stand for and what you don't stand for. What your standard is or what's not your standard. You go out here and play the male and female games, you're not protecting yourself. You got to understand the risk with that. You got to understand when you play this male and female game that this game is that's the way I'm putting it to you. It's a massive game and there's so many risks involved. And you're trying to do everything you can to be intelligent and protect yourself from the risk, but still play the game at the same time. So don't get caught slipping playing the male and female game. Most people do, though. And it's been affecting our community for a long time. People playing the male and female games.
Don't get caught slipping.
Don't get caught.
Spin around the
Take it from somebody who was in that game. And all it do is it makes it harder for you to convert back to being normal when you play the male and female game. Let me know in the comments if I'm off on that. Love to hear about it. So another one is scams and schemes. People always scamming and scheming. That gets a lot of people interested, it blinds them. Instead of learning about things that's legit, that can take you further, people want the quick money, scams and schemes. Everybody in the streets ain't always just selling dope. They running the credit card schemes and scams, boosting, stealing clothes, selling them, all kind of stuff. You have to be careful not to get caught up in doing that, because you get a felony, it's hard to come back from felonies. You got to do double the work. You got to be double creative, and you have to be double resilient when you get felonies on your record. Schemes. People always running schemes, trying to get you to, like, pyramid schemes, and you just don't know who's trying to finesse you, trying to finesse people out of money. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people get interested in those too. And you kind of know it's a person. Sometimes that people have that personality that kind of be in the schemes and stuff, always fast talking, always coming up with the new thing or the new trend, Forex, little crazy stuff out there. But you got to be careful not to get caught up in that stuff, man, because they do make it sound good. I'm not saying like they don't make it sound good, but when you understand how life goes, nothing comes quick. It takes work and sacrifice. A lot of times it's hard people to run that on me because I don't get caught up in that, because I understand how life works. And a lot of times nothing great comes quick. It takes time, effort, and education and work. But that's just my opinion. So my last slide, and I'm out of this thing.
They told me bust out my AP, perfect time, man.
Understanding results as an adult. Your results say everything, no judgment needed. A lot of times people always say that, why are you judging me, or don't judge me? Nobody has to judge you. The results show everything. Everything. If you keep having to borrow money, the results are saying that you're not stable. And if somebody asks you that, hey, what's going on? Why you keep borrowing money? Man, don't judge me. No, I'm not judging you. I'm asking you, you're not looking stable right now. Right? Having health issues. Nobody's judging you. But if they ask you, are you taking care of your health? Be honest about it. You may need help. But you have to get out of the mindset because somebody asks you something, they're saying something or being negative. You have to get out of it. You got to have the emotional intelligence to understand that sometimes your results are so obvious, somebody has to ask you out of concern. But as a young person, I will say this: when you become an adult, it is your time to show and prove what kind of adult that you're going to be. And it's nobody's judging you. It's based on the results. The results show everything. All the time. Some people on the surface level, they make things look good and grand, but I promise you the results over time will show. Time and results will tell you everything you need to know about a person. Because a lot of times people try to hide who they are, but time, it will show. They can't hide it for long. That's why it pays to be yourself. It pays to develop a development strategy. It pays to get that post-education. It pays to develop your presentation. It pays to increase or take on responsibilities successfully and handle those And it pays to get interested in the right things. Don't let the wrong things throw you off, whatever it may be. But be careful out there, because there's so many things out here that can sway your perspective and they could throw you off your path that you was on. And then when you realize you got to the end, it's not what you thought it was. Now you got to go all the way back and start from ground zero again. That's why you have to be careful about what you expose yourself to. However, thanks for watching this. Those who have watched this, let me know in the comments. Be sure to watch the podcast, Thinking Game Podcast, on Thursdays or Mondays, depending on our work schedule. Let us know how we're doing. Engage with us. We would love to hear some of your thoughts. Let us know what you'd like to hear us talk about. This is Mike, understanding the things I should have done after I graduated, passing it back down to anybody that wants to hear this, or the people that's graduating this year. This is Mike. Thanks for watching. I'm signing out.